The Japanese-only PCFX home console isn't the most ideal platform for importing. Its software catalog is full of text-heavy releases, so the pickings are slim for anyone lacking patience or knowledge of the Japanese language. Because of this, it may be easy to overlook some of the output of one of the most prevalent developers on the platform, HuneX. This collaboration team between Human Entertainment and NEC put out half a dozen games on the system, including RPGs, as well as visual novels. They also developed the final PCFX release, First Kiss Story. It's a straightforward yet charming visual novel featuring a whopping 12 dateable girls. Even with little Japanese knowledge, it's surprisingly easy to follow thanks to what seems like fairly simple plot lines. I 100%ed it, though in saying that, I realize most people aren't looking for something like this. Instead, the true gem will be what's hidden inside. On the first weekend, you'll receive a call from your good friend Ayano, who will want to play some HuneX Fighters 98. This in-world fighting game features characters from the developer's original franchises, including Private Idol for the PC Engine, the PCFX's Blue Breaker, and finally, First Kiss Story itself. It's surprisingly fully playable, with Street Fighter-like special moves as well as meter-burning super combos. Being a mini-game, it's light on content. There are 3 characters, an arcade mode, 2 player versus, and a quote survival mode. That last one is a bit misleading since it actually operates on time attack rules, with a series of battles against every color variation of each fighter. There's also only one song, so I really hope you like it. While sparse on content, each character has a distinct playstyle. Mei from Private Idol feels the most grounded. She's limited in movement, yet has a powerful series of punches, along with some devastating super combos. Her specials also create a damaging barrier in front of her for extended periods of time, preventing opponents from closing in. Asha from Blue Breaker is the most mobile, with a focus on cornering her opponents. Her uppercut and angled tackle pushes the opponents back. One of her supers seems built to take advantage of this position once she's closed in. Finally, Kana from First Kiss Story feels the most defensive. She can reflect projectiles and has a wide upward kick that knocks back opponents. Once her foes are at a distance, her super pelts them with a shower of hearts. Are the characters balanced? I'm not sure. I'm far from a fighting game expert, but Mei's canon maybe hurts a little too much. I also can't tell if there's any significant depth here. What I can say is it's cute, fun, and fast-paced. Each character is distinct enough to encourage different approaches to combat, so it's definitely worth exploring its tiny roster, even if spamming a character's fireball equivalent works across the board against the AI. One of its more distinguishing features is its choice of proportions. The chibi character design gives a different feeling than more realistically sized fighters. Unlike Neo Geo Pocket games, which resize the fist and feet, there's not a lot of reach on these tiny little limbs, so really getting in there is needed to start doing any combos. The style allows for a lot of goofy sprite work. Pause the game often, and you'll get to see cute attention to details, like Kana trying to keep her skirt down after jumping, and a brief glimpse of Mei entering the fray with a Gundam costume. While First Kiss Story was the final release for the PCFX, HuneX Fighters 98 did get a second life. It would seem reasonable that it was included with the ports of First Kiss Story for the PlayStation, PlayStation 2, as well as Dreamcast, but unfortunately, it sounds like the minigame was completely cut in these instances. Instead, feast your eyes upon First Kiss Story Desktop Accessories CD Volume 3. This disc is full of First Kiss Story promo art and desktop accessories for everyday use on your Windows 95 or 98 PC. More importantly, it includes version 2 of HuneX Fighters 98. The core gameplay is basically the same, though there are definitely changes. Knockback seems to have been reworked, while the frequency of the dizzying mechanics were increased. Some general effects, animations, and sound effects have been changed, with the flashiest addition being the cut-in character portraits that fill the screen during a super combo. The most significant changes were those around the edges of the game. Additional modes such as Team Battle and a proper survival rule set are now present. It also added what I believe is a new bonus. Getting a high enough score in arcade mode introduces an extra battle against a souped up clone of your current character. I couldn't completely confirm that this didn't exist before, since the scoring system is much more strict in the original. Either way, these bonus bosses are not that different from their default template, yet after fighting the 3 same characters repeatedly, any change is welcome. It's still just that one song though. What's most impressive is the amount of character art that was added for battle transitions. The tone of these also became really extreme. In the PCFX version, everyone is pretty goofy. For the Windows release, their portrayal is weirdly devious. Like, in First Kiss Story, Kana is reserved. Here, she's putting out cigarettes on people's tongues. Street fighting has turned her into a monster. Being on PC, you might think, oh, here's a good way to play this game without a PCFX, but both Windows 7 and Windows 10 want nothing to do with this thing. So unless you have a retro PC sitting around with a Japanese Windows 95 or 98 OS, using PCM or a virtual machine are likely your best bets on getting this thing running. Though just don't be surprised if there are some issues. I've definitely seen a lot of slowdown that you may have noticed in the footage here. Is playing the revision worth jumping through these hoops? Probably not. Since the core has changed so little, you can easily get away with playing the PCFX release. As a bonus in a visual novel, it's awesome. As a fighting game, it's fine. For most people, it's probably notable given the console it's on. As far as I know, it's the PCFX's sole fighting game, unless you count those weird cinematic fighters like Battle Heat. I think HuneX Fighters 98 might be most significant within the context of the developer. You may be a bit surprised to find out that HuneX still exists today. They've made over 100 titles, including licensed games, along with entries in D3's Simple series. In the modern day, they're best known for creating as well as porting visual novels of the Bishoujo and Otome variety. I get the impression that, in the late 90s, the 3 franchises featured in HuneX Fighters 98 were a bit special for them, or at least the most financially successful. Around this time, Private Idol had a 3-episode OVA series, while Blue Breaker saw various ports, a fighting game spin-off, and quite a bit of merchandising. Though First Kiss Story debuted alongside HuneX Fighters 98, they were quick to port the visual novel to PlayStation, as well as make various PC accessory discs. It also got plenty of merch, as well as a 1-episode OVA sequel. After these franchises went away, it feels like the developer has been constantly moving on to their next project with little time to look back at what they've done. This minigame is a celebration of their notable and possibly most passionate original works up until 1998. In some ways, it's like a tiny hidden HuneX Smash Brothers. Thanks for watching. If you want more information on how to access HuneX Fighters 98, you can find a link in the description. One Controller Port has a focus on games with a notable place in history, as well as titles with a distinct take on a franchise or genre. Visit onecontrollerport.com for videos, podcasts, streams, and articles. You can also follow me on Twitter and Twitch via the links in the description.